Yes, guys, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Arsenal have just disgraced Aston Villa. 3 goals to 1. What a performance! What a comeback! What a response from Mikel Arteta's men! What a response from Arsenal! Because after that 2-all draw against Crystal Palace on Monday, it is something that I expected. I expected Arsenal to step up, and yes, they did step up their performance. We're gonna be doing a match, review. We're gonna be diving into much of what has actually happened in the 90 minutes. A beautiful performance, a strong performance from Arsenal. Can they keep it up under Mikel Arteta? Not that he's the right manager, but maybe a reason for Arsenal fans to celebrate. Who was your man of the match? Is it Smith? Is it Saka? Is it Aubameyang? Who was your man of the match? We're gonna dive into much of that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get the party started. All right, then, lads, welcome back to the channel. We've just disgraced Aston Villa, because that's the word. We've just disgraced Aston Villa at home at the Emirates Stadium. 3 goals to 1. They were lucky. Jacob Ramsey got them a consolation goal. It wasn't. It really didn't didn't mean a lot in this game. It was all Arsenal. It was a performance where you think Arsenal deserved maximum points. It was the first time. We would get into the weaknesses of Aston Villa, and we will get into the strength of Arsenal as well. But one of the things you've got to think about is the kind of response we have put up, both in terms of our display and also in terms of being clinical and finishing over chances. Thomas Partey scoring his first goal, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting onto the score sheet, and what a game from Emil Smith. Well, I doubt Saka had a good game. I'm really not going to say much about Saka and do that. I don't think he had a very, very good game. But I think on the other hand, Smith Rowe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Thomas Partey, respectively, had very, very good games. And I also think Aaron Ramsdale and Nuno Tavares also had very, very good games. So let me know in the comment below, who was your man of the match? Because for me, that is where it centers. That who was that player that actually stood out. In my case, I think I'll go with Smith, who was absolutely outstanding. I'll get into that in a minute. Make sure you hit the like button. There's so many people scamming up, fan channels, hitting the dislike button. So make sure you support your fan channel by hitting the like button. Let's get into it. So we started off with a very good a very good formation, 4-4-2. Look, I mean, Mikel really doesn't go for a 4-4-2. He rarely does. But after that Crystal Palace game, I think he thought about it. How do I incorporate Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Because I told you it's always going to be very hard to drop Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And the reasons that we talked about, the reasons, he still has another 360 days on his contract, actually close to 500 days on his contract. And then you think about Lacazette, who might be living in the summer. Of course, there have been a couple of there is talk of Lacazette staying at the club, and things like that. We will, I will get that into, into that in Arsenal Newsday. But he incorporated two of them, and for me, it's one of the reasons that I think Mikel may be a good manager in the future. Not good enough for Arsenal at the moment. Not good enough for a top 6 or top, or top 4 side. But he will be a good manager in the future, because against Crystal Palace, when he brings on Alexander Lacazette, things do work out. Lacazette comes in, gets him an equalizer, and he rewards him by giving him his first start of the season. Brilliant idea from Mikel Arteta. So this is how we started. Ramsdale was in goal. We played a back four. Nuno Tavares replaced Kian Tierney. Tierney has an injury, so there is no problem with that. I think that is one of the things that we got spot on in the summer, getting someone who can actually play, instead of, who can play instead of Kian Tierney. Brilliant. Gabriel played with Ben White, and Tomiyasu was our right back. I think it's consolidating better and better. It's getting used to the league, because one of the things you have to learn as a Premier League fullback is there's so many quality forwards in this league, and you've got to be on top of your game 24/7. I think Nuno Tavares didn't do that for me 24/7. He's very, very good, going forward. The opposite of Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu is so good defensively, but I think in the end, Tomiyasu and Nuno Tavares really did have good games. A midfield four of Sambi Lokonga and Thomas Partey. Now, guys, we've had this stock of Lokonga. Of course, that was from the Crystal Palace game. Lokonga and Partey did cost us that game, and I think we won this game courtesy of them. They were absolutely brilliant in that midfield. Sambi Lokonga, of course, trying to get shots on goal. I really love that. I really see a player who is so enthusiastic, trying to make things happen from the midfield. I love that. He's a defensive midfielder. I mean, he doesn't have to take as many shots as he did, but again, nevertheless, he continues to do that. He continues to take those shots, and that's one of the very, very, very good things that you're gonna get from a player like Sambi Lokonga. So Lokonga played with Thomas Partey. Partey getting his first goal of the season. What a night! He will never forget. Definitely, he's never gonna forget this. I think things are really going well for him. Apart from that, bad sleep. I don't know whether it was a sleep or just caught on the ball against Crystal Palace, but he had scored 2 goals for Ghana before coming out of the international break, and now he has his first goal for Arsenal in a game where we win in front of the fans 3-1, and I think he was all over the place. We were on for a party at the Emirates. Emil Smith-Rowe was the creative player, and Bukayo Saka obviously was. I don't think he was fit. Look, this is not me defending one of my best players in the team, but I don't think he was fit. I absolutely don't think he was fit. He never plays like that. He never plays like that against a dull side. He never plays like that against a side that is, absolutely, switched off. I think the truth is we've got to accept this. Saka was not fit, but Mikel had no choice. He told him, what, son, you've got to play for me, because if you don't play for me and I do not win, and I fail to win a third successive game, I'm gonna be under immense pressure. So Saka really not fit, and I think we need to talk about that. Saka was not fit, but Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang were the front two, and actually we played a side that almost imitated us, but they kind of played a 3-5-2, but more of a 4-4-2 as well. They played, Emi Martinez, of course, former Arsenal goalkeeper. We can finally move on from the talk of who is better, Leno or Martinez. I think Ramsdale is a fairly good goalkeeper, and I want to thank all the Arsenal fans out there that have been, just shouting and making the point that Ramsdale has finally, brought in some justice into the Arsenal goalkeeping position. So Emi Martinez can actually rest in peace. So they played Twanzebe, Konsa, and Taron Mings, an absolute beast of a defense from Aston Villa. We'll get into that. Matt Target, they played Matt Target, Douglas Luiz, Joe McGinn, one of my best players in the Premier League, not this season though, and Matty Cash. Emi Buendia as the number 10. What a poor game. I think Emi Buendia and Danny Ings have had the worst game, in round 9. In round 9 of the Premier League, they've had absolute stinkers. And then Ollie Watkins as well started the game for Crystal Palace. If you look at the statistics, which I think we should be looking at right about now before we go into much of the talk, Arsenal had 22 shots on goal. What? I mean, this is progress. Not progress in general, but this is progress from the last game where we scored one goal and defended deeply like chicken. We chickened out. In this game, one of the things I've seen is we played an open game. We played a progressive game. We played a game where you feel like your team is attacking. Your team is doing whatever way is possible to get another goal. So 22 shots on goal. That is my team. Now that is the Arsenal I know. That is the team. That is the team I understand. That is the way I want us to play. 22 shots on goal. Get me more. And now Sambi Lokonga will dive into Lokonga and how we play, because for me, he's one of the players that really, really performed well today. Absolutely performed well today. Getting those shots on goal. I mean, did he have around 3? Of course, he had. If he had 4, 3 of them were off target. I don't care. He's trying. One day that shot is gonna go in, and he's gonna become a goal scorer. And that's one of the things I really, really do cherish. So 22 shots for Arsenal, 10 for Aston Villa, and can you believe this? We finished off the first half. Villa did not have an attempt at Arsenal's goal at halftime. And that speaks volumes of how good, dominant, and pressing we were. It was a pressing game. It was a game of legs. It was a game of pace. It was a game of absolute beauty and class from Arsenal. So 10 shots. They got them in the second half. They were a little bit brilliant in the second half. We had 9 shots on target. 9 shots on target, and we scored 3. I mean, is that too much to ask for? Against Crystal Palace, right? Get 22 shots on goal, get 9 on target, get 3 goals, and that's what we are asking for. Aston Villa on the other side had 4 shots on target. They did score 1. We scored 3 out of the 9. Brilliant goals. We'll dive into that at a later stage. Possession 55%. 55% for Arsenal, 45% for Aston Villa. And I think this is this was a little bit better in the second half. In the first half, possession was around 60 to 65. 60 to 65. We absolutely dominated Aston Villa. I mean, look, it's been a while. It's been a while since we played, since we put in a good performance against Aston Villa. Last season, they humiliated us. The likes of Ollie Watkins, I think he got a brace. I mean, they humiliated us. But 55 ball possession, that was good. 450 passes for Arsenal, 380 for Aston Villa. 81% passing accuracy. We were a little bit accurate. 78 for them. We committed 17 fouls. They committed 10. We had 2 yellow cards. They had 5 red cards. No side recorded any. Offsides, 1 for Arsenal and 9 for Aston Villa. Corners, 7 for Arsenal and 4 for Aston Villa. That is for me. The match report clearly says it all. The match report clearly, absolutely says it all. It's that look. It's that point where you believe Aston Villa didn't have anything. They didn't deserve anything in this game. We'll get into the individual players, but they didn't deserve, and they should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed. And before we get into the positive, the negatives, and individual players, and maybe Mikel Arteta and your comments as well, let's talk about Aston Villa just for a minute. They were absolutely abysmal. I think they've been somehow affected by the departure of Jack Grealish, because if you look at the Aston Villa last season, Dean Smith is gonna struggle. Absolutely, yes. He's had a couple of one. I think the manager is having injury issues, which is absolutely understandable. Leon Bailey coming back from injury should be one of their star players. Emi Buendia has not really, caught the lighter, the fire that you expect him to have. You expect that. And I think the partnership between Ole Watkins and Danny Ings throughout the season has actually not really worked out. But let alone that, the likes of Joe McGinn, where have their performances gone? Right, the likes of Matty Cash, the likes of a Target, where have their performances gone? I think they really lack Jack Grealish. They miss Jack Grealish because look, it's not the same scenario with Leeds. Leeds are suffering from a second season syndrome where you feel like they've been found out, right? Where I feel like they've been found out. But for Aston Villa, this is their third season. Maybe it's the second season syndrome because last season they actually performed so well as compared to their first season in to their first in the Premier League ever since their promotion. Maybe that could be the point. Maybe that could be that could be the point of debate. But apart from that, they're performing poorly this season. They lost the lead to Wolves in the last game. They have gone 3 games without a win, and that speaks volumes to Arsenal fans, the team, Mikel Arteta, and whoever feels a little bit deluded. We are gonna try. I'm gonna try to expand on that because look, Villa were bad. They were poor. They were not bad. They were poor. They were poor. It was a performance that was, for me, unacceptable, right? Unacceptable. If I'm a Villa fan and I'm doing a match reaction, remember me against Crystal Palace, that would be me. I would be absolutely fuming. The performance is nuts, man. The performance is nuts. The performance is too bad. The performance is unacceptable, clearly unacceptable, right? And it teaches us as Aston fans one or two things, on to pick out of this game. One is we shouldn't be too carried away. It's more like it's a 3-1, a resemblance, a cut and copy of the Tottenham Hotspur game. Because after beating Tottenham Hotspur, you would have thought Arsenal have regained their cautiousness. They'll beat, at least they'll try to compete with all the mid-table teams and put in a good performance against all the top sides. We might not beat them, but we expect a better performance from Arsenal. What actually happened is the vice versa. Arsenal did not beat the mid-table sides. We did not. We actually struggled against Brighton and we struggled against Crystal Palace. That takes us back to the Tottenham game. They were poor. They were we ripped them apart because they were poor. If you look at the goals we scored in that game, do they ring a bell? I think they do because look, guys, and this is me not trying to be negative. I'm going to try to dive into the players, and you'll see how positive I am in this match reaction. But let's consider one or two things, right? Let's consider one or two things. Look at Aston Villa. They've struggled all season with set pieces and dead ball situations, right? And Partey, on more than 2 occasions, came very close. Of course, on one occasion he did score, but in the other instances, on more than 2 occasions, he came very, very very, very close to scoring from a set piece, actually from a corner. That that shows you that they have not learned from their mistakes. They absolutely didn't learn from their mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I think we played well. I think we deserve more than 3 goals. We deserve more than 3 points. If they could give us 5 points, they should. If they could give us 10 points, they should, because we played well. We were absolutely all over the rim. Both halves played well. It's one of the positives that I did see, and I'll mention that in the 6 things we learned, and I'm also gonna mention it here in the positives. But say this and look at this. We are a team that thrives off the opponent's weakness. We barely create our own chances, right? The penalty, for me, look, And this is what Ian Wright. You know what? You know how Ian Wright loves Arsenal. He loves Arsenal probably more than I do, because he's the subject of the game. He's played the game. He's been on Arsenal. He probably understands the team more than, not probably, he does understand the team more than I do. So and of course understands the game better than I. And he says, which I think is absolutely right, that the penalty on Alexander Lacazette actually comes in because is it Target? Yeah, it's Target. Lacazette throws himself in front of Target, very well knowing, as a striker, knowing that Target will try to get contact with the ball. So what Lacazette does is he positions his leg, he positions himself in just in front of Target, and just behind the ball. So there is no way Target gets in, gets the ball minus making contact with Alexander Lacazette. And I want to explain this to all the haters out there that are shouting on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit, and wherever kind of they could be using Donald Trump's new Facebook, TikTok, anything. Any haters out there that are saying that goal, that penalty doesn't stand, look, it stands on one day and it doesn't stand on another. I've seen this on a couple of occasions where you see players like, I don't want to mention names. You see strikers getting that close, and they actually do not get a penalty. And you're like, who is this, right? What the fuck is this? This should be a penalty. Sorry for the language. And for me, it speaks volumes. The reason that's why it speaks volumes is on a good day like our day, right? On a good day like our day, Lacazette gets, because for me, if it's not Lacazette, it's only Martinelli that can get us that penalty. We've got to agree. There are only two aggressive players, in the box. Players that know how to react, and I've looked at Aubameyang's reaction in the penalty box today. Is absolute. Apart from the penalty, apart from the spot kick, his reaction in the box is still lacking. But he's got 4 goals. He's got 4 goals now in the season. 9 games, 4 goals. Well, that's a positive. But that penalty stands on one day and doesn't stand on another. Right? It stands. If it is Mike Dean, probably the penalty, probably the penalty doesn't even stand, right? Because I don't want to attack Mike Dean. It was in the Crystal Palace game. So the penalty is a little bit cheeky, but we get it, and it was more than we deserved. It was less than we deserved, because we were absolutely all over them, and absolutely wonderful in the first half. The Partey goal, like I said, is out of a set piece. Of course, we can score from a set piece, but we rarely do score from a set piece. And like I said, Aston Villa have got the syndrome, have got the set piece syndrome. They actually they're conceding many goals than they should be conceding from set pieces. The third goal is Smith Rowe being released by I think Aubameyang, gets into there, and there's a simple deflection. He's trying to carve the ball away from the goalkeeper. A simple deflection from Tyrone Mings, I think, and it is 3-0. Now, those are beautiful goals. They're absolutely beautiful goals. But those are not goals you score a club like Burnley. Because Burnley do not actually concede, set piece goals like that. They don't give you reckless set piece goals like that. Burnley do not, are not gonna, expose themselves like that, especially to a club like Arsenal. And that's why you saw that when we were playing Burnley, we absolutely struggled. It was a set piece. It was actually it took Martin Odegaard to score a direct set piece. So I think it was an easy sale, but sponsored proudly sponsored by naive Aston Villa. They should have done better. Look, there is no way I'm defending them. There's no way I'm defending them. I don't like them, and I have no reason to like them. My point, and my key point is we need to build on these performances. We can't keep on going inconsistent. right? Very good performance, but can we build on it? Can we have found our 11? We have a goalkeeper, we have a back four, we have a midfield three, we have the wingers are sorted out, and the striker we have, right? Can we build some consistency, right? It's all I'm asking for. I'm not really asking for much. I'm not really asking for much. All I'm asking for is, can we build some consistency? The next game is away from home against Leicester City. It's a very hard game. It's a game where I don't know whether we are gonna win it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I will assess the chances when we reach. But before that, we will play Leeds at home in this round of 16 of the EFL Cup. So you can see that games are coming in thick and fast. We need to build a momentum. This is good. This is around how many games are these? How many? Is this 6 games unbeaten now? Because 2 draws against Brighton and Crystal Palace, a win against Aston Villa, a win against Brighton, a win against Norwich and Burnley, right? And Spurs, right? So I think 6 games unbeaten. We could go to 10 games unbeaten. We could go 10 games unbeaten. And that would be a very, very good statistic. So, guys, good performance, very, very good performance. Before I dive into the positives and the negatives, I need you guys to smash the like button. Thanks everybody. 100 people watching. I mean, it had taken some time. 100 people watching. Make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button right about now, and let me know who was your man of the match. Man of the match, Partey. Mike says Partey. I mean, I could. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't really disagree. Partey really had a good game. Boom, this is it. Man of the match, Smith Rowe. Very, very good game as well. Smith Rowe played it well. Yeah, I agree. Partey, of course, the fact that he gets his first goal for the club maybe speaks volumes. Maybe absolutely speaks volumes. The fact that he gets his first goal for the club speaks volumes on why he should be man of the match. Hi, Kosi, how are you doing, Fortune? ESR man of the match, brilliant. This is going to HN90. ESR. Man of the match, Shafiq says Kosi is ER, the runs, the tackles, and everything. He was absolutely on point. Kosi, day is good for us. No, big up to you, Noya. Hello, brother Kosi. My team has made my night, man. Thank you so much. Me too. Girlfriend says ESR or Gabriel Magales. I think I would go with ESR. If you ask me, any of the two, among the two, between the two. What kind of English is that? There was the beauty also in the little minutes of Martinelli. I love the guy. You know how much I love Martinelli. You know how much I love Martinelli. Tavares and Lokonga was great in this game. Can't disagree with that. Arteta's selection of playing Tavares was good. I mean, he had no choice. He had lost a player. He had lost Kian Tierney to injury, so he had to play him. He had to play Nuno Tavares. But I think it's a good game. It's a good game from Nuno Tavares. Ha ha ha. My command Saka today has not been. Look, guys. Before we get into positives and negatives, let's first get into the individual players and see how each player actually played. Because for me, I think Saka was not fit. Right? I'm not trying to defend him. Saka was not fit. Let's start off with Ramsdale. Ramsdale in this game has just showed me one thing, that Leno is never gonna get back into the sticks. He's never gonna get in between the sticks if Ramsdale is fit. I'm sorry. I'm a big Leno fan. I love Leno. Right? I love Leno, and I'm one of those people who love to see Leno play every game. Right? Because I believe he's a top goalkeeper. I believe his Germany's second best or third best after Ter Stegen. I've believed in him. I've seen him have good seasons, one at Arsenal and one at Bayer Leverkusen. I just don't know what happened. But I think Leno has been beaten, hands down. What Ramsdale has done in this game is he showed us that's a goalkeeper that does not get, does not chicken out, does not get cold feet. He's a goalkeeper that, you know what, if he wants to start the ball, he starts it. He starts the ball. If he wants to, hit it long, he hits it long. A goalkeeper that really speaks to his defense. A goalkeeper that stands, in between the enemy and and his defense, and he saves his defense. Brilliant. He made a couple of brilliant saves. I know, in the first half it was a holiday. It was an absolute holiday. My man Ramsdale. There is no credit there. You're not taking any credit from the first half in terms of saves. Maybe in terms of ball distribution, he's becoming better. And maybe it speaks volumes as to why Arsenal spent close to £30 million on a goalkeeper. I mean, we said it. We said it in the summer that you don't spend 30 million on a backup goalkeeper, right? You don't spend. And since Leno is Leno 15 or 10? I think it's 10 to 18 million. He just qualifies to be the backup. I know he doesn't love to be backup. He might move to Inter in the summer or probably in January. But I think Ramsdale has just announced himself as Arsenal's number one. His ball distribution is absolutely perfect, good. He commands his area. Look at the goal. Go and watch back his reaction when we concede. He's out of his mind. It's like, how do you let him, have a shot in that distance? And I'm on his side. Partey, Lokonga, Gabriel, and White. The goal we conceded is avoidable. You don't let a strike. You don't let a midfielder have a goal in that range. You don't do that, because Ramsdale is completely beaten on the shot. But that is a shot that should have never happened in the first place. So good. Good game. A good game for Ramsdale. Very, very good game for Ramsdale. I think in the player ratings, I'll give him a very, very good rating. Very, very good rating. So good game for Ramsdale. Well deserved. Well deserved. He deserved a clean sheet. If it's not for these guys, blacking out, switching off, and letting Jacob Ramsey score a fantastic beauty. Ramsdale could have got a clean sheet. But for me, the fact that he has conceded doesn't take away anything from his game. It doesn't. He speaks a lot. One of the qualities that I think a good goalkeeper should be having. He absolutely speaks a lot. He speaks a lot. I think one of the goalkeepers I can compare him to, should I say Yano Black? I'm not really meaning in terms of quality, but I mean in terms of commanding their area. In terms of commanding their area, because Ramsdale also as well really, really commands his area. Beautiful goal, beautiful goalkeeping. Right. Tomiyasu today, look, I think it was a little bit. I think Tomiyasu today was a little bit more progressive, than the games we have seen. I think this is more of Mikel Arteta trying to help the player, and probably the player trying to help himself as well, because it wouldn't really do anything positive if you have a fullback that really doesn't create a lot and doesn't get involved coming up front. I think the defense deserves a very, very great, round of applause. Keeping Oli Watkins, Danny Ings, Emi Buendia silent is something that we've got to talk about. Watkins is a threat. We know how much Buendia, is valuable, especially to Arsenal, because we tried to sign him last summer, and despite the myth and despite the mysteries, we failed to sign him. And then Danny Ings, we all know how much a quality striker he can be. He had a bad game. Ings had a very, very bad game. But for me, it was Tomiyasu against Watkins. Yeah, it was Tomiyasu against Watkins. And that was a good performance. That was a very, very good performance. He kept him quiet. But not only that, I saw a little bit more of a progressive Tomiyasu. Trying to drive forward, trying to I saw him, do step overs and Caesars. I do love them, but I don't think he's good at them. Really, I don't think he's good at them. And he wasn't really caught, in behind. I didn't see much support from the likes of Lokonga and Pate trying to help him out, but he really had his game solid. So Tomiyasu, for me, good game. Same goes to Ben White and Gabriel. And they also had a very, very good, partnership together. Ben White, the progressive runs. Have you seen them? Did you spot them? Someone let me know in the comment section if you did spot, if you did spot those progressive runs from my man, Ben White. I think they were around 3 times when he drove the ball right from our own half to their own half. And you remember when we were signing Ben White, and I think it was the day he made his medical. Is it the day he made his medical? I really can't remember that video. But I did say that one of the advantages that we are getting from signing a player like Ben White is his confidence to dribble forward. I like it when Harry Maguire does it. I like it when Ben White does it. I like it when Thiago does it. I like it when Joe Matip does it. I like it when John Stones does it, or Ruben Diaz. I think probably Diaz doesn't do much of it, but Stones loves to do it. It's also another way of just producing creativity, right? It's another way of producing creativity. So Ben White, I think he had a very, very good game. The same thing with Gabriel today. And Nuno Tavares, what a performance. First and foremost, Danny Ings was not a threat. So was Emi Buendia. Not really a threat today. And apart from that, from the good defensive work from Nuno Tavares, he almost created. For me, I'm sorry to say this, but he was the most creative spark on that pitch today. He was the most creative spark. Unless I'm wrong, let me know. Because for me, Partey was not creating. Smith Rowe, yes, he was a creative spark, but Nuno Tavares was the most creative, spark today in that game. He was the most creative. He was the most creative spark in that game. And don't get me wrong. I think he needs to solidify better in terms of defending the ball. He needs to solidify better and more. But for me, the progressive runs really do it for me. Nuno Tavares, those progressive step overs and runs and crosses. He needs to work on his crossing. I think we can get better from him, and it's gonna be really a tight hassle between him and Kian Tierney. Tierney has not really started this season at his best. Don't get me wrong, one of my best at Arsenal, but Tavares has something that he provides, and we've just seen it in this game. He runs a lot. He's hungry to score, and he gets into the penalty area more than Kian Tierney does. If Kian Tierney can't do that, I think it's going to be better. The better thing with Tierney is he balances his defensive duties with his progressive duties, and that's why I think Tavares still has a lot to learn. But all of them are young players. The defense is, Tomiyasu is 22, Ben White is 23. Gabriel is 22, Tavares is 21, Ramsdale is 23. So you can see they're all very, very young players, and they still have a lot to learn in the end. The midfield, Bukayo Saka, not fit today. My bro, my man, I love you so much, Saka. I've seen the step overs today. I've seen your steppers. I mean, I don't know whether it was Tyrone Mings who was better. And I don't believe it was Tyrone Mings, because I don't believe it was Tyrone Mings. I don't believe. Look, Tyrone Mings didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a very poor game. But I think Saka was not fit. He only played in that game because Mikel Arteta wanted him to. And shame on you, Mikel. At halftime, 60 minutes, when we scored the third goal, the first thing he should have done is put up Bukayo Saka. Yeah? The first thing he should have done was to put up, should have been to put off Bukayo Saka. But nevertheless, I think we needed him. I mean, it was a game where you needed all your best players. Mikel was under pressure. He needed all his players to be, available, and indeed they were available. So Saka not fit, not a very very good game, but I doubt his fitness because MacArthur, the super reckless challenge. You can't tell me that Saka is completely okay within a space of 20 within a space of 72 hours. I'm not buying into that crap. I'm not buying into that. I'll listen to Mikel Arteta's press conference and I'll upload the reaction. But I know Saka was not fit in that game. Abasam Lakonga, Thomas Partey, their partnership lacks progress. That's the truth. I'm not even gonna lie. Their partnership lacks progress. I think Lokonga needs to polish his game. Too crude. Too crude. But Partey had a very good game, and Lokonga had a very, very good game as well. I think what I loved about Abusame Lokonga is the fact that he always tries to find a shot on goal. I mean, who doesn't like such a player? Who doesn't like such a player? A player who tries to find a shot and goal, a player who always tries to get himself, knocked inside. Very, very good game. Very, very good game from Abu Samila Konga. And the same thing with Thomas Partey. What a day. What a day. No better occasion than when you're looking for a reaction from a poor game, because I think he had a poor game against Crystal Palace. There is no better reaction than that Thomas Partey. He was challenging for every ball in the midfield. He was challenging for every area ball in Aston Villa's penalty area. And indeed, the result and the reward is absolutely okay for me to get his first goal. Smith Rowe, man of the match for me. Look, I don't know. I even don't know what to say. This lad had a good game. Should we say spot on from Mikel? Because he drops Odegaard, integrates Lokonga, Smith Rowe, and Thomas Partey. He almost plays with one winger. On the pitch, and it absolutely works very well. Yeah, because Lacazette for me was playing a little bit deeper than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Of course, you expected him to take on that kind of number 10 role. But Smith Rowe, the runs, stretching play, trying to create the goal, everything about him today was absolutely brilliant. Lacazette, like I said in the last game, it's gonna be now a tough hurdle to decide who plays with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Is it Gabriel Martinelli? Is it Lacazette for Aubameyang? Is it Pepe? It's now gonna be hard unless this injury Lacazette has got is very very serious. But apart from that, I think Lacazette had a very very good game. The penalty is a brilliant idea to step in front of my target, get to the ball fast, and there is no way defender is gonna get to that ball minus making contact in the penalty area. You make contact. Look, I don't know if it's a goal scoring opportunity. But it's a penalty, and we could care less. We needed that one. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, my man, 2 games where I've seen him work so hard. I don't know whether you people have realized, but he's been working very, very hard. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he has been working absolutely very, very hard. And in the end, the reward, Emi Martinez saving that penalty. Thank God it went in, because Martinez was going to talk for a week. He was going to talk for a week. Oh my God! Thank you. The reaction from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for me is spot on. Because look, it's a bad penalty. It's a poor penalty. I could have saved that. I could have saved that. I'm telling you, I could have saved that. And if it's a goalkeeper like Manuel Neuer, you're not even getting a second chance on that. If it's a goalkeeper like Tim Krul, you're not getting a second chance on that. You're not. Or Kepa Arrizabalaga, you're not getting a second chance on that. So, but the responsiveness, is that correct English? The response from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is spot on to get Arsenal that lead, and I'm absolutely grateful for that. So guys, that is the overall performance of the team, and that's the overall performance that I did see from this team. There are a couple of positives that I'm really going to talk about as I take your comments, but the negatives that I saw in the game is, again, we don't know how to react when we score. I don't know if you're still noticing that. We do not know how to react when we score. When we score, we feel like we have this, we have this kind of triumphalism phase that we go through, and it is really hurting us. We could have scored 4. We could have scored 5. Take advantage of situations. Take advantage of situations. Palace were down. We could have hit them 3. Villa were down. We could have hit them 5. Imagine scoring 8 goals in a space of 3 games in the Premier League, 3 days in the Premier League, right? Because for me, if we had beaten Crystal Palace, this was our chance to get position 4. The first chance we got to position 4. But I could care less. We have the same number of points as Manchester United. If they lose to Liverpool, we will have the same number of points after game week 9. We shall have the same number of points as Manchester United. And who knew? Yeah, who knew? Don't get me wrong. They are my biggest rival. So after this game, look, I didn't really pick I didn't really pick so many negatives apart from the failure to react when we score. We need to take advantage of such situations, right? We need to take advantage of such situations. So we are in position 9 now. We are in position 9, and it doesn't look like a threat. The only clubs threatening us is Leicester City. If they win, they will go above us. Wolves as well, and Brentford, right? So the worst we can go still is position 12. I don't think. I think by the end of this game week we'll be around position 10 or position 11, and it's not really bad. But now we are going away to Leicester City. That is the next big thing. We are going away to Leicester City and hope we can actually get better results from there, right? So if you want to know where we are on the table, Arsenal is in position 9, played 9 games, 14 points, and -3. I just said this negative. I want us to have a positive goal difference. 9 games in, yeah, we did consider 5 against Manchester City, but we've had our chances. We have had the chances. We've had our chances to score. If you had beaten Crystal Palace, even if it was 2-1, we would have a -2, right? So we need to take our chances. We really need to take our chances. And maybe the other negative is still the creativity. Creativity is absolutely sucking. It sucks. We need to work on that. We've got to agree. We need to work on our creativity. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. It absolutely sucks. We are not creating enough chances, right? We are not creating enough chances. But other than that, guys, I think the rest were absolute positives, and we're gonna dive into the positives. As I do take your comments. So I need fresh comments. I need new comments. I need new comments. Tomiyasu is really good. That's according to Mike. Thank you so much, Mike. For well deserved. That's according to Salat. Anu says Ben White progressive run is absolutely massive. I'm in agreement with you, Ivan. Nuno Tavares, he was good. You're right, Kosi. Nuno makes more runs. Exactly. He makes more forward runs. This is us, and this is us not trying to downplay one of our best players in Kian, but I think the runs are good. The runs from the lad are absolutely good. Kosi Saka is tired. He needs to rest. But he also had a knock. Yeah, he also had a knock. We need not to forget that. Kian has more good crossing. Absolutely. Look, if Nuno Tavares gets forward and brings in good crosses, we could have scored better. We could have scored better goals. But I mean, he will work on that probably. He will work on that. Tavares is more direct than Tierney. This according to Yusuf. And then Mike says Partey has proved me today. Look, for me, he has not proved anything. He's a good player. We know that. He's a good player. Partey. He's an absolute good, absolutely very, very good player. He has nothing to prove. Nothing to prove. Laka, Pepe, Auba on the front line. For me, Pepe no. Pepe no. I would rather go with Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah, I would rather go with Gabriel Martinelli. Pepe, I really do have my doubts now. Saka should not have played. He trained only yesterday. He wasn't fit to play. Arteta should have played Martinelli instead. You can't blame a manager who's under pressure. You can't blame him for playing his best player. It was a great save, not a poor penalty. No. It was a poor penalty. It was a poor penalty. I was watching with my brother here, and I told him, I think I would go. I would go. This. It's Aubameyang. I would go this way. And he's so predictable in his penalties. If it's Alexander Lacazette, it would have been a better penalty. But a great save as well. A great save as well. But we don't have a penalty taker, bro, Cozy. I think Lacazette is a good penalty taker. But look, despite the fact that Lacazette is a good penalty taker, I would give all my penalties to my striker because I need him to challenge for the Golden Boot. He's got 4 goals. Salah's got 7. He's very close. So I'll give him all the penalties. Make no mistake, because Saka takes the penalties. Vardy takes the penalties. So there's no reason as why I don't give my striker penalties, right? There's no reason as why I don't give Aubameyang penalties. We need more. We need more man now. We still with 3 goals, which is not good to our side. Yeah, absolutely. We need. I mean, the performances, guys. The performances have to keep on coming. We can't forget that. The performances have to keep on coming. And I'm going to share my link with you so that you can call in and share your thoughts, right? So link is already in the comment section. That is the link provided by Kosi's Footy Podcast. Make sure you call in. I'm going to we will be doing match reactions for other big clubs as well on the channel, so and previews and more like that. But of course, Arsenal is going to be the major club. Okay, Arsenal is going to be the major club, right? Arsenal the priority, and other clubs will also get space, but Arsenal will be our priority, right? So, Kosi, today's game is super. The boys made me proud. This according to Kaku. I mean, big up Kaku. It's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game, and I think one of the things we are gonna love. Is there is some quality in this side, and that's one of the things we are saying. This team, right? Let me just step away from my mic a little bit, just to feel some, breathing air, right around there. Look, this side. However much Mikel in his press conference says, is trying to show us that he doesn't have the players to play progressive football. Are you mad? Is he mad? These men, right? These players here, the players that we've got are good enough. I'm telling you, the players we have are good enough to play progressive football, are good enough to play good football. I do not disagree. Because if you look at Arsenal having 14 points, that is 5 points behind Chelsea, table leaders. Chelsea are multi-million spenders. Liverpool are multi-million spenders. City are multi-million spenders, right? So for me, the only club that we should be concerned about is Brighton. We should be going, no, Brighton shouldn't be ahead of us. Spurs shouldn't be ahead of us. West Ham shouldn't be ahead of us. But even when they're ahead of us, yes, they have a game in hand, but we have the same number of points as United, West Ham, and Everton. So a team that has the same number of points from 9 games, that has already played Manchester City and Chelsea, right? And Spurs. We have already played 3 of the top 5 at the moment. You don't tell me that this team cannot play progressive football. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. So Mikel needs to get his grip together. I want him out. There's no question about that. I want him out, and because for me, people, let me try to just find my point, right? Let me just try to just find my point. And yes, we smashed Aston Villa, courtesy of the manager. But if Aston Villa don't give away the penalty, if Aston Villa do not make it so easy for us, what was Mikel going to do? Did he have a plan B? We saw that against Crystal Palace, he didn't have one. We saw that against Brighton, he didn't have one. Did he really have a plan B if the domination, if the domination trick, if the domination tactic didn't work? Did he have a plan B? I'm asking myself that. Someone tried to convince me that he did have a plan B. I'm not really sure. Ramsdale is better than Martinez. We could have a debate about that, but at the moment, we are Arsenal fans and we've got to agree. It was a good game. That's according to Augustine. It was a good game. We need consistency, and that's what I'm saying. Is Mikel Arteta the manager that gives us the consistency coin, right? Is he the manager that gives us the consistency coin? I don't know, right? I absolutely don't know. But we do have our, we do have our first caller in, and I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take our first caller, Jared. How are you doing, Jared?
Hey, bro, I'm good. Pleased with the performance. How are you doing it?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, man. I just want to touch on a few key things I saw in the game. Of course, I want to talk about Nuno Tavares first. I'm very pleased with his performance. Of course, he made some errors and whatnot, yes, but overall, he was dogged. He was making some good forward run. Sorry, he was helping the press. I was very pleased with his performance. Partey was solid. But there was a few instances where he lost the ball, he won it back. Of course, Aubameyang scoring again, so that's great to see, and great to see goals coming from other players from the team aside from Aubameyang. That is something that we've been lacking and having a serious issue with. So I'm very pleased to see that, and may it long continue that other guys now could put in the goals and we could get performances like this. And I'm very grateful as well too that after scoring 1-0, we still try to win the game and not try to defend from so early like we did in Palace. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Thank you so much, bro. The question is, do you think we played absolutely so well today, or do you think it was courtesy of Aston Villa also being absolute? Because I feel like there's a big difference between the Aston Villa we played last season
Correct.
and the Aston Villa we played today. But do you think maybe it's also a factor that they played poorly today?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was very shocked because in some of my previews and other channels I was on, we were expecting the midfield of Aston Villa to be a bit menacing and to be more of a threat, but they were poor. They were only good up until when Bailey came on. When Bailey came on, he added something extra, of course, which Bailey does. But yeah, I think they were very poor. But we did not set back into our own ways. As I said, we did not just try to defend on the game, really dominated the first half. It's been a while since we just dominated, like completely even since the Tottenham game, we completely dominated the first half. Of course, the second half we kind of let them back in the game as always, but we held on and there was some good game management.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no one can take away the fact that we played a mature, beautiful game. It was a very, very good way to bounce back in front of the fans, especially after that awful awful performance against Crystal Palace. But next in line is is Leicester City. Sorry.
Yes.
Do you think we can put up the same performance? Do you think it's are you convinced we can put up the same performance probably against the likes of Tillemans, the likes of Somare, because they're also not really good, Leicester, this season, but they just thumped Manchester United 4-2, and yeah, I mean that for me makes me afraid.
Yeah, well, the attacking is very good. The defense is not too hot. Because Younger them not having the best season so far. I'm to going away to the King Power. That will be very tricky, especially now that Doctor is firing, Ian Nacho is firing, Vardy is firing, and Ian Nacho and Vardy is working very well now. Finally, Rogers got it right. But again, we have to look at what we have. We have Gabriel looking very solid in the background, still communicating. He's commanded the defense. I think they have a better chance. A better chance. I'm confident. I'm confident because I was confident in this game. I'm confident, but it will obviously be a taller and harder task. And Leicester not going to perform like Aston Villa. They're going to be on it, and we are going to be. It's going to be a full 90-minute match. It's not going to be patches. They're going to be on it right through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm just gonna ask you after this performance, one question. After this performance that you have seen today, if you had a chance to add one player in January, who would that be, and which position would you go for?
Oh, put me off guard there. Okay. Let me be quick. Let me be quick. One player that we should add. It doesn't have to be realistic, right? I mean, like a realistic with finances, or just one player that we need for sure, for sure. For me, honestly, I would take Renato Sanchez.
Mm, mm, mm.
I would take a player like him, right? I will definitely take somebody like him in the midfield. I think the midfield is the most important thing right now. We need someone who keep the ball ticking, and help party out. We need that. So I'll take Renato Sanchez. If I doubt it's possible, but yeah, that's the kind of player that, or someone of his ilk. If not him, but
Yeah,
someone
I
like
mean,
him.
yeah, I mean, if you take injuries away from his career, he's a great
Yeah.
player,
Hmm.
great ball carrier. I think it's only injuries that are just affecting his career. Away from that, he's a great player, and he would also solve the creativity problem because I think however much we are doing well, we still lack the creativity part of it. Do you feel like do you feel that we still
I
lack
agree.
clear cut chances to
Yes.
Aubameyang to
Yes.
Lacazette?
Even Saka, that chance. I mean, I'm not faulting
Mm.
Saka. I think we are burning out Saka, so I'm not going to fault Saka. I will never say Saka had a bad game. I mean, it wasn't great, but I'm not on his back because we are burning him out. But that chance today with the one-on-one with Martinez, yeah, he should have done a little better because he can do better. We've seen it play with England, and we've seen it before with Arsenal. But yeah, we're lacking, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if Aubameyang does not score, we're in trouble. That's what it's looking like, and we have to work on that. We have to try and get more goals from the midfield. Smith has to start scoring. Odegaard has to start scoring. Yeah, we have to work on that.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, sure. Hey, thanks, man. Make up, Kasi, man.
All right. Thank you so much. That has been Jared. Of course, great thoughts, and it's a great opportunity to have your thoughts on and match reactions on it. It always happens when we have a game. You guys can call in, get your reactions in, get your thoughts in. Quincy says Tierney's decline may be a sign that he needs rest. I cannot disagree. Cannot disagree. He's played a couple of games. Especially for Scotland, for Arsenal. He might need rest, and I would really not disagree with that. Arsenal is too big, for Mikel Arteta. For me, I can't disagree. I said that in my last match, press conference. Sorry, match reaction, and I'll upload my thoughts as well. I will really upload my thoughts as well. But I still feel Arsenal need to get a proper manager. At the moment, I would go for Housem Awa. It's according to a team. I mean, Awa in January. I don't know if I don't know the availability. It could be he could be available. It could be not available. I mean, it's tricky. But make sure you call in. I need the likes of Purpose. I need the likes of look. I don't remember where I remember you guys, but I don't remember where you went. But make sure you call in the likes of HJ, make sure you do call in and give me your thoughts before we close this show. I'll be uploading player ratings. I'll be uploading 6 things we learned, Mikelata's press conference and the reaction, and obviously my fan cam. So a lot of content is still to come your way. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. As we close, probably let's get into the positives that I saw in this game, and some of them I've really spoken about them. So positives, I mean, there were so many. There's so many in that game. I'm just gonna point around 3 or 4 positives that I think stood out. One is the fact that Partey bounced back. I mean, at times you don't need to bury your head in the sun. You don't need to bury your head in the sun. Yes, he had a bad game. He had an absolute stink against Crystal Palace. And actually, Partey and Lokonga, I'll give credit to Mikel Arteta because he starts them in the fall. I mean, probably he never had much of a choice, but he started them in a game. 3 days after they cost us 3 points, or they cost us 2 points, and he started them. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. So the fact that Partey takes his chance, scores his first goal, it's an absolute positive. He held his head, his head high. He doesn't, bury his head in the sand. He decides to go all out. He says, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, to rise up. I'm not going to, I'm not going to bury myself in the sun. I'm not even going to try to, hide. Yes, it was a bad performance against Crystal Palace, but I've got to bounce back. And when he bounced back, he leads the club to a victory 3-1 at home against Crystal Palace, against Aston Villa. Partey was a positive, very, very good person. Very, very good, positive. The other positive, why not? The bounce back, the bouncing back. Look, I mean, at times it's hard when you lose points. It's hard to react. The reaction at times doesn't come that easy, and we know it, right? Football, as we know it, that's the best part of football, the jeopardy, right? I mean, just imagine if United lose their next 3 fixtures. That is, to be precise, if they lose to Liverpool, right? If they lose to Liverpool and probably draw against Tottenham and then lose to Manchester City, we will be ahead of them. I mean, that's the jeopardy. That's the jeopardy in the game, right? And that's what makes football, really fascinating. But the fact that you can beat the risks, you can beat the jeopardy, and get yourself, up there. For me, was another positive. We bounced back, right? We really, 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 we really, really bounced back. Moody Night, bro. These are going to, Malik says, if Arsenal did not win, what will you have said after loss to Brighton and Palace, a club that is not in Euro, no fatigue. We still need. I mean, Malik, I said that already. We need a better manager. We need a better manager. We are not represented anywhere. We do actually not represented, but we do not have obligations in Europe, right? We do not have obligations in Europe. That means we've got to hold our heads high and get in performances that are acceptable. But what I'm saying is the positive is the fact that you bounce back, because we ask the fans. We want to be part of the top 10. We want to be part of the top 8, top 6, top 4, and probably win the title, right? So the bounce back for me is kind of resilient, right? It's kind of resilience, that energy, that extra energy to bounce back. I love the resilience. Why not? Right? So guys, I mean, brilliant night. It's been a brilliant night for the fans, especially for the fans. So smash a like on the video, people. Smash a like on the video if you know we won, and we because I'm dedicating this win. I didn't get the win, but I'm dedicating the win to all Arsenal fans out there. If you feel like we did it for you, smash a like on the video so that we can beat all the haters around there, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. My fan cam is coming on. I'll be uploading my player ratings, 6 things we learned, and obviously I'll have a trend. I think I will restream this. If you want to watch it again, if you have a friend you want to recommend that has not watched it again, please do. I'm going to restream this, I think at around 4 or 5, and I'll call it an